close your eyes. Let the soft glow of moonlight touch your skin. Tonight we journey gently into the quiet world of forgotten temples and sacred rituals, where divine women once guided hearts and spirits. Each symbol, each whisper carries a calm energy, waiting for you to notice its serene power. Soft winds carry us over ancient stones and sacred waters, where priestesses moved like rivers, embodying wisdom, courage, and quiet grace. Let your mind drift slowly, letting each gentle image settle like a warm breeze through your soul. As we explore these spiritual symbols, allow the world outside to fade. The stars above, the incense of forgotten altars, and the quiet hum of devotion will cradle you into peace, softening your thoughts and inviting restful sleep. If this gentle journey brings you calm, comment where you are listening from, or simply let yourself drift and subscribe so these sacred stories can continue to soothe your nights. The night opens like a silken curtain, revealing soft skies heavy with silver light. A quiet wind stirs the leaves of a hidden grove, carrying the faint scent of jasmine and damp earth. Shadows stretch long and slow, and the ground beneath is soft with moss and petals that have drifted from unseen blossoms. Somewhere a small stream hums its gentle song, tracing a path across ancient stones. Here the world seems still, and yet it moves in quiet rhythm, as though the breath of the universe flows softly through each leaf, each drop of water. You float along a narrow path, guided by a silver glow that dances across the trees. The moon hangs low, a luminous pearl in the quiet sky. Its light touches the grove like a caress, revealing figures seated upon flat stones, their robes flowing like water. These are the priestesses, women of soft power and serene knowledge, guardians of rhythms older than any city or tower. Their hands move slowly, drawing symbols in the air, tracing crescents and circles, spirals that echo the shape of the moon itself. Each gesture seems to hum with the pulse of the night. The symbols are gentle yet alive. A crescent traced on stone becomes a bridge for the spirit, leading it through shadows toward calm waters. A circle drawn in sand reflects the endless cycle of the moon, a rhythm that never ends, a cycle that comforts and grounds. The priestesses hum low, steady tones that rise and fall like distant waves. You feel the vibrations as a soft pulse in your chest, in tune with the slow turning of the sky above. Their chants are not hurried. Each word lingers like mist curling over a quiet river at twilight. The syllables are soft, carrying memories of the night, of stars that have seen the rise and fall of countless moons. You notice the delicate silver dust on their hands, caught from the moonlight itself, and how it glimmers as they raise their arms toward the sky. Each motion is deliberate, yet effortless, a silent conversation with the soft glow above. The priestesses are not in a hurry. They do not ask anything of the world, only to offer presence and reverence. A small owl drifts silently above, gliding through the branches, its wings brushing the edges of shadow. It is a quiet witness, like the symbols themselves, a guide to the unseen. The women trace its flight with their fingers, following the path of light it touches. You feel yourself moving with it, floating on the air currents, your body soft and weightless. Every breath you take matches the rhythm of the night, the gentle inhalation of cooling wind, the exhalation that merges with the silver haze of moonlight. The priestesses begin a ritual of stones and water. Each holds a small bowl of liquid, shimmering with the reflection of the moon. They tilt the bowl slowly, letting the water spill in soft arcs upon the earth. Where it lands, tiny flowers awaken, petals stretching in slow, deliberate motion. It is as if the earth itself remembers the touch of these women, responding with delicate life. You watch, transfixed, as one priestess traces a spiral in the soil, the water following her motion, and in that spiral, you sense the gentle passage of time, the rise and fall of the moon, the quiet unfolding of all that is. Symbols of the moon appear everywhere, carvings in bark, small stones arranged in crescents, feathers tied to branches. They are subtle, easily overlooked, yet they speak in a language that the mind does not need to understand. The spirit recognizes them, and in that recognition comes rest. A soft bell rings somewhere far off, a tone that stretches like liquid, resonating through the grove. It is not loud, not urgent. It is a reminder of presence, of the gentle rhythm that holds all things. The priestesses' voices rise in a lullaby of light, their tones curving like soft rivers. You feel the warmth of their energy, a calm current that moves through the grove and into your chest. Your heart slows, matching the steady, unhurried beat of the ritual. The moon above waxes, then wanes, and each phase is mirrored in the subtle movements of the women. There is fullness, there is emptiness, and in both, there is perfect peace. You drift closer to the largest stone at the grove's center, where a single priestess sits with eyes closed, her hands folded lightly in her lap. Around her, moonlight pools like liquid silver, and the ground glows softly. She does not move quickly, does not speak with haste. Her presence is a whisper, a gentle invitation to rest. You feel the pulse of her calm, a rhythm that echoes the cycles of the sky above. And in that rhythm, you find a space to release all tension. Small lanterns are placed along the edge of the grove, each containing a flame that flickers softly, mirrored in the still waters of the stream. You hear the subtle lapping of water, the wind brushing over leaves, the distant hum of insects singing in quiet harmony. It is a lullaby that reaches the deepest places of the mind, softening the edges of thought. Here, in this sacred space, the world seems slow, and every shadow, every movement, carries the weight of gentle care. The priestesses begin to move again, tracing a circle around the stone. Their robes glide across the moss, the soft rustle like whispers of silk. You sense the invisible thread connecting their hands, the moon, and the earth. Each step is deliberate yet effortless, a reminder that life can move in quiet cycles, each phase unfolding in its own time. Your body feels heavy, yet light, as though you are floating between moonlight and shadow, a soft presence in this sacred grove. Feathers and petals drift down from unseen branches, carried by the wind. The priestesses catch them lightly, tracing them in the air before letting them fall again. Each object seems to hold a memory, a story of devotion, of gentle care. You feel the calm seep deeper, into every part of your body, every corner of your mind. The moon above grows brighter, spilling silver across the grove, filling empty spaces with soft illumination. A distant drum begins, faint and slow, beating like a heart in the dark. It is not intrusive, it simply reminds you that time moves in gentle pulses. The priestesses listen, their bodies in tune with the sound, and their chants rise to meet it. The air vibrates softly, carrying warmth and rhythm, and you feel yourself swaying in harmony. The drum carries no urgency, no fear, only the subtle knowledge that the world, too, moves in cycles just as the moon does, just as your own breath does. As the ritual reaches its quiet peak, the priestesses lower their hands and sit still. Silence falls, not empty but full of presence. The moon above shines like a guardian, and the grove seems to hold its breath. You feel the weight of stillness in a comforting way, as though every stone, every leaf, every drop of water is breathing with you. Here there is no need to hurry, no need to seek. The soft rhythms of the night and the gentle work of these women hold you in a cocoon of calm. Now the priestesses rise slowly, moving toward the edge of the grove. You drift with them, your body weightless, your mind untroubled. Petals and moonlight trail behind like soft echoes. You sense the cycles of time continue, unseen yet perfectly ordered, and in that knowledge comes a deep ease. Your eyelids feel heavier, your breathing slower, each exhale releasing the remnants of thought, leaving only quiet presence. The grove fades gently as the night deepens, leaving traces of silver light and memory. You float above the stream, over mossy stones, beneath the soft hum of stars. The owl has flown, the petals have settled, yet the calm remains, embedded like a soft whisper within your chest. The moon glows still, carrying the silent song of priestesses, their ritual complete, their presence a gentle cradle for the spirit. Let us drift onward, carried by the memory of their soft steps and quiet chants. The moon traces its path across the sky, and the heart follows slow and steady. Rest as the stars return to watch over the grove, as the wind murmurs through the trees, as the silver light lingers like a promise. Let your mind float in this calm, gentle rhythm, letting sleep arrive like a quiet tide. And now, as the last echoes of ritual fade into soft shadow, allow yourself to be cradled in the gentle glow of moonlight and drift into rest, knowing that the cycles of night and moon carry peace to all who listen. The night stretches across the quiet hills like a soft blanket, painted in shades of deep blue and silver. A gentle wind drifts through olive trees, carrying the faint perfume of blossoms and the subtle warmth of earth that remembers the day. Stars scatter above, like tiny lanterns hung across the sky, shimmering faintly in the distance. You float along a narrow path that winds through a hidden courtyard, where columns rise like silent sentinels. Their shadows bend and sway in the soft glow of lanterns hung from delicate hooks. In the courtyard, figures appear, moving slowly with a calm rhythm. They are divine women, priestesses of old, each draped in soft veils that shimmer like water in moonlight. The fabrics seem to capture light and hold it, glowing faintly as they move. You notice the faint patterns woven into the threads, tiny symbols of protection, of wisdom, of care. Each stitch carries meaning, though quiet and subtle, and the movement of the veils becomes a gentle language of its own. The priestesses glide across the smooth stones, their feet bare, feeling the cool surface beneath. The veils follow their movements, trailing softly behind them like clouds of gentle light. You float closer, noticing the way the moon catches on the silver threads, making them gleam like quiet stars that have descended to the earth. Each gesture is unhurried, each turn deliberate, as though the fabric itself is breathing, moving in harmony with the night. Some veils are light as mist, nearly weightless, floating above the shoulders like soft clouds. Others are heavier, draping down with a calm gravity, brushing fingertips and the edges of garments beneath. Symbols appear in subtle forms: crescents, spirals, small blossoms stitched into golden thread. Each one tells a story, though silently. They speak of protection, of guiding spirits, of holding the rhythm of sacred spaces. You do not need to understand them with your mind. The soul recognizes them, and that recognition feels like a gentle sigh of relief. A lantern flickers nearby, casting soft shadows that dance across the courtyard. The women move through the light, their veils swaying slowly, creating waves of soft illumination. As you drift closer, you notice the patterns in motion. Spirals curl gently around the hem, crescents rise and fall with each step, and tiny stars scattered across the fabrics catch the glow like scattered memories. The wind lifts the lighter veils, carrying them like feathers, and you feel the subtle pulse of air as it brushes against your skin. The priestesses stop at a small fountain at the center of the courtyard. Water glimmers in the pale light, forming gentle ripples across its surface. Each woman lifts a veil and traces a finger along the water, letting the symbols of the fabric reflect briefly in the liquid. The motion is slow, deliberate, yet fluid, like the movement of the river itself. You sense the harmony between the elements: water, cloth, light, and spirit, all moving together in a quiet conversation. Some of the women begin to hum, low and steady, a sound that blends with the gentle lapping of water. The hum seems to vibrate through the air, brushing your skin, settling into your chest. The veils move with the rhythm of the chant, flowing gently as if they have a life of their own. Each thread, each fold, carries the echo of devotion, the memory of generations who honored the night with calm attention. You feel yourself breathing in time with the hum, your body softening with every note. A faint breeze lifts the veils, and for a moment they drift like luminous clouds above the priestesses' heads. Some trail across the fountain, brushing the water with the softest touch, and the reflections shimmer and fold upon themselves. The effect is quiet magic, a subtle illumination that moves without effort, without hurry. You drift alongside, feeling the peaceful energy that radiates from each garment, each symbol, each movement. There is no need to think, only to be present in this gentle unfolding. Some veils bear tiny mirrors, polished and delicate. As the priestesses shift, the lantern light catches on them, creating fleeting sparks of silver across the courtyard. Each spark carries a moment of reflection, a quiet memory of devotion. You feel a sense of calm pass through you, like a soft wave brushing across still waters. There is no sound in the mirrors, no hurry in the light, only gentle acknowledgement of presence, both in the courtyard and within yourself. The women begin a slow procession, moving in a circular path around the fountain. Veils swirl like quiet rivers around their shoulders, carrying soft weight that bends with the flow of their motion. Their hands move in harmony with the fabrics, drawing shapes in the air, letting the wind carry the faint patterns outward. You drift with them, weightless, feeling the soft rhythm of steps, the light brushing your skin, the gentle hum of devotion in the air. Some veils are embroidered with petals, others with threads of gold and silver. The symbols they carry are ancient: loops of protection, lines of guidance, crescents of the moon, small blossoms of memory. As the priestesses pass, these symbols seem to hang in the air for a moment, glowing faintly in the lamplight before melting back into the folds of the fabric. You notice that each symbol, though quiet, feels alive, like a soft pulse of energy, a gentle guardian of peace. A small bird lands on the fountain's edge, its feathers catching the lantern glow. The priestesses do not startle it. Instead, their veils sweep lightly as they continue their rhythm. The bird lifts its head and sings a single note, soft and clear, weaving itself into the hum of the priestesses. You feel the note wrap around your shoulders like a gentle shawl, a sound that eases the mind and settles the spirit. The procession slows, the women forming a ring around the fountain. Each lifts a veil gently, letting it float upward in the wind. The fabrics shimmer as they rise, catching silver from the moon, soft glimmers from lantern light, and the subtle reflections from the fountain below. For a long moment, the veils hang in the air, suspended between heaven and earth. You drift in the calm, created by the stillness, your own breath matching the gentle sway of the fabrics. Some priestesses kneel, letting their veils pool around them. Their heads are bowed, hands folded, and the courtyard holds its breath. Light dances across the folds of fabric, and you notice tiny patterns of stars and crescents catching the glow. Each one seems to tell a silent story of protection, strength, and care. The air is thick with calm, as if the night itself pauses to honor the gentle rhythm of their devotion. The hum continues softly, now blending with distant whispers of wind. Veils brush lightly against the stone, some touching the water, others trailing along the ground. Symbols fold in and out of sight, catching the light only for moments, then disappearing into quiet folds. You feel your body grow heavier, your mind slower, each exhale releasing any lingering tension. The fabrics, the hum, the water, the moon, they all form a cocoon of soft presence, holding you in gentle stillness. The priestesses rise once more, moving slowly toward the edges of the courtyard. Veils drift behind like calm rivers of light, brushing softly against stone and water. The lanterns flicker gently, shadows stretching and blending with the darkness. You drift alongside, weightless, carried by the quiet movement, your body and spirit settling into the rhythm of night. Finally, the women pause near the gate of the courtyard. Veils swirl lightly in the wind, shimmering faintly as the last lanterns dim. The hum fades, leaving only the soft murmur of the wind, the gentle splash of water in the fountain, and the silver glow of moonlight resting on every surface. You feel the calm sink deeply, settling like warm silk over your chest, your shoulders, your mind. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft memory of veils and their quiet light. Feel the moon's reflection in the water, the gentle sway of fabric in the wind, the pulse of ancient symbols in the night air. The courtyard fades slowly as you float upward, weightless and free. Rest now, as the stars return to watch over the gentle world, and the soft veils of whispering light hold you in their calm embrace. The night sky stretches wide above, soft and deep, scattered with silver stars that shimmer like quiet lanterns. A thin mist rises from the river, curling slowly along the edges of reeds and water lilies. The air carries a faint scent of damp earth and blooming flowers, a scent that wraps itself around your chest like a gentle shawl. You float along a narrow path beside the riverbank, where moonlight rests on smooth stones and lapping water. The river moves slowly, deliberately, as if it knows the rhythm of the night and allows nothing to hurry it. Along the banks, women of quiet presence appear. Their robes are light as water, and they move with the ease of floating clouds. Their lips murmur soft names, each syllable flowing into the air, then into the water. Names of goddesses, of spirits, of ancient guides, drifting across the river like delicate boats. You feel the sound brush your face like a soft wind. The voices carry no urgency, only calm, each note a lullaby that blends with the gentle splash of the river. The river itself seems alive, responding to each name. Its surface glimmers with silver light, reflecting the stars above. Sometimes the ripples form patterns, soft spirals and circles, as though the water itself remembers every chant that has ever passed along its banks. Each name, spoken with care, seems to settle into the river, resting on the current and flowing quietly downstream. You drift alongside, weightless, carried by the rhythm of water and voice. Some of the names are soft, almost whispers, curling through the reeds and into the branches overhead. Others are stronger, resonating with a low hum that moves through the stones beneath your feet. The combination is like a lullaby of presence. Soft, flowing, unbroken. You notice the moonlight glimmering on the surface, creating tiny reflections that dance like flickering candle flames. The reflections shift gently, bending and folding, like the river itself is breathing in harmony with the chant. Small lanterns float down the river, tied to reeds and petals. Each carries a name written in delicate ink that glows faintly in the moonlight. The priestesses watch them drift, murmuring softly, letting the water carry the words. You feel the calm wash over you, each lantern a tiny beacon of memory and devotion, a gentle reminder that all names hold weight, yet float freely when released with care. The women kneel by the river's edge, letting their hands touch the cool water. Their movements are slow and deliberate. Fingers trace patterns on the surface, drawing small circles and lines. Each motion seems to echo the syllables of the names, creating ripples that spread outward, soft and even. The river carries the vibrations far, and you feel them as a gentle pulse against your chest. The water is a mirror of sound and light, and the world seems to fold into it, softening, calming, becoming still. Above, the branches sway with the night wind, casting lace-like shadows across the river. The priestesses' veils move in rhythm with the water, brushing their arms and shoulders like quiet clouds. Some wear small pendants, mirrors of silver and crystal, reflecting starlight onto the ripples below. You notice how the reflections bend and shimmer, like the river itself is listening, carrying the prayers of women and the silent hearts of those who follow. Occasionally, a bird rises from the reeds, calling softly into the night. Its song blends seamlessly with the murmured names, weaving a gentle counterpoint to the chants. The priestesses smile softly, letting the melody join the ritual without disturbance. You feel a subtle warmth in your chest, a gentle reminder of connection, of presence, of calm. Each note of song, each whispered name, is a thread weaving a blanket of quiet over the world. A small stone altar rests near the riverbank, moss-covered and worn smooth by centuries of water and footsteps. The priestesses kneel before it, laying petals, candles, and small bowls of water. They speak names slowly, softly, as though each syllable is a brushstroke across the air. The river catches the sound, carries it along, reflecting it in gentle ripples. You float above, watching the interaction of water, light, and sound, sensing how easily calm spreads when attention is soft and deliberate. Some names are long and rolling, curling like waves along the river. Others are short and delicate, dropping like pebbles onto the surface, sending small ripples outward. Each name carries history, memory, and devotion. You feel the resonance in your chest, in your mind, each pulse softening the edges of thought. There is no hurry here, no tension, only the gentle flow of water and sound, the soft guidance of presence and rhythm. The priestesses rise and walk slowly along the riverbank, trailing fingers through the water. Their robes brush the surface, leaving tiny spirals and ripples that catch the moonlight. The lanterns drift alongside, glowing faintly, reflecting names in tiny silver glimmers. You float with them, weightless and serene, carried along by the rhythm of gentle steps and flowing water. Soft drums begin far upstream, muted and distant, but in tune with the river's flow. The priestesses listen without turning, their movements harmonizing with the faint beat. You feel the rhythm settle in your chest, slow and steady, aligning your breath with the pulse of night. The river responds, its ripples matching the drumbeat, and each name spoken seems to glide further along its surface, carried effortlessly toward unknown places. Branches above sway lightly, letting the mist from the river settle on your shoulders like a soft blanket. The priestesses pause, gazing across the water. Their veils flutter gently, catching moonlight, and the river reflects their movements in liquid silver. You feel the calm deepen, a sense of weightlessness, of quiet, of gentle surrender. The names continue to drift, soft echoes of devotion, each carrying a sense of safety and care. The women kneel once more at a small bend in the river, letting petals and small blossoms float on the water's surface. They whisper names into each flower, sending them downstream. You watch as the flowers glide gently along the current, each carrying the soft power of prayer and memory. The motion is slow, hypnotic, rhythmic. You feel yourself drifting in the same current, each breath a soft ripple across your spirit, easing the mind into quiet rest. Lanterns dim gradually as the night deepens, their glow softened by mist. The river moves silently now, smooth and reflective, carrying names, prayers, and petals as if the world itself has slowed to match the gentle rhythm. The priestesses rise, their veils floating around them like clouds of light, and step back from the water. Their presence lingers in the air, a quiet energy that embraces the night and those who follow its path. A lone owl glides across the river, its wings barely stirring the surface. Its call is soft, echoing faintly in the distance, blending with the murmur of names and the ripple of water. You feel the sound settle into your chest, a reminder of gentle guidance, of unseen watchers, of quiet care. The river flows on, carrying all sound, all light, all memory gently toward the horizon. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft current of water and sound. Names of goddesses and spirits float around you, wrapping in gentle spirals of calm. Feel the pulse of river and night, the soft sway of veils, the shimmer of moonlight. Let sleep arrive like a quiet tide, filling every corner of your mind, your body, your spirit. Now rest as the stars return to watch over the river, and the whispered names carry you gently into the still embrace of night. The evening stretches slowly across the valley, soft and golden, as if the sun is spilling its last warmth into the quiet earth. You walk along a narrow path surrounded by tall grasses that sway gently in the calm wind. The air carries the faint scent of aged stone and wildflowers, blending with the subtle coolness of shadows. Ahead, shapes rise from the ground, outlines of temples carved long ago, worn smooth by time and touch. Moonlight begins to touch the edges of these stones, painting them silver, softening their weight, and making them seem alive. You enter the courtyard of the first temple. The air is still, thick with quiet reverence. Each stone has its own story, etched by hands that knew devotion, patience, and gentle care. The carvings show women in flowing robes, their gestures calm and deliberate, holding symbols of protection, of guidance, of sacred memory. You feel the energy of their presence, not loud, not commanding, but soft, like a gentle pulse beneath the surface of the earth. The temple doors are heavy, carved from wood worn smooth by generations of fingers. They open slowly with a whispering creak, revealing an inner sanctum bathed in silver moonlight and the flicker of small lamps. Shadows stretch along the walls, curling over the stone carvings of women seated in meditation. Their eyes, carved so long ago, seem to hold quiet knowledge, watching without judgment, inviting rest. You float through the doorway, your breath slowing to match the calm of this sacred space. Along the walls, carvings trace gentle lines of movement, women lifting hands toward the sky, letting soft light fall across their faces. Some hold small bowls, others carry petals or incense. The shapes are subtle, their gestures flowing like the soft wind through the trees outside. You notice tiny stars and crescents hidden in the folds of their robes, symbols of cycles, protection, and quiet care. Each line of stone seems to breathe softly, echoing the gentle rhythm of the night. The air is cool and carries a faint scent of incense, drifting lazily from small stone niches. The smoke curls upward, catching moonlight, forming delicate spirals that rise to the high ceiling. Each spiral seems to wrap around the carvings, a gentle embrace of light and shadow. You watch as the smoke drifts, curling softly in patterns that match the motions of the women carved in stone. There is no hurry here, only presence, only calm observation. You notice the smooth floor beneath your feet, worn by centuries of devotion. Each step echoes softly, a quiet rhythm that blends with the gentle hum of night. Somewhere in the distance, a water channel trickles through the temple, its sound soft and even. The priestesses of old must have traced their steps alongside these waters, carrying petals, symbols, and whispered prayers. You feel the calm energy of their movements settling into your own breath, slowing your pulse, easing your shoulders. A small alcove reveals a carved basin filled with clear water. The surface reflects moonlight, flickering softly with the shadows of columns and arches. You float near, noticing the delicate etchings along the edge. Spirals, crescents, tiny blossoms. These patterns tell a story of protection and memory, of care that extends beyond time. The water carries their reflection, rippling softly, merging the image of past devotion with the gentle present. The temple seems to breathe with you, each stone holding weightless presence. You drift along the halls, tracing fingers along the walls, feeling the subtle textures beneath your touch. Every carved figure, every line, seems to hum quietly with the energy of women who guided spirits and offered calm. Their gestures are slow and deliberate, their eyes soft and welcoming. You notice a gentle alignment of shapes, like the moonlight itself is drawn to certain carvings, tracing the cycles of time and devotion. Small lanterns flicker along the edges of the hall, casting soft glimmers on the floor. Shadows bend and stretch, dancing slowly across the stone. You sense the space between each stone, each carving, as sacred pause, a moment to breathe, to feel calm settle in. There is a quiet pulse in the temple, a rhythm that carries no rush, no urgency. It is the pulse of memory, of devotion, and of the night itself. Some carvings depict women carrying vessels of water, their movements mirrored in the streams flowing through the temple grounds. Others show hands tracing symbols in the air, gestures echoed in the patterns of moonlight on the stone floor. Each representation is delicate, subtle, and full of meaning. You feel a gentle energy move through the hall, soft as wind, carrying traces of ritual, reverence, and presence. In a quiet chamber, you see a circle of stones forming a small altar. Petals are arranged in gentle spirals, incense smolders in small bowls, and soft light pools in the space between. The carvings along the walls seem to lean closer, observing, welcoming. The priestesses of old appear in memory here, their figures frozen, yet alive in stone. You float near, sensing the gentle pulse of care, of devotion that does not demand attention but offers a safe, calm embrace. Outside, the wind moves through the temple's open arches, carrying the scent of night-blooming flowers. Petals drift softly across stone floors, settling in patterns that echo the carvings. Moonlight spills through the arches, brushing walls and alcoves, highlighting subtle symbols of crescents, stars, and gentle spirals. You feel yourself sinking deeper into stillness, each breath a soft echo of the temple's rhythm. A distant drum begins, faint and slow, as if the earth itself is marking the passage of time. The stones seem to hum along with the rhythm, vibrating softly beneath your feet. You drift in harmony with the pulse, your heart slowing, your mind quieting. The carvings of women holding symbols, raising hands, tracing gentle lines, all seem to nod in time with the sound. It is a lullaby of stone and silence, guiding the spirit toward peace. The air grows cooler as night deepens. You float to the highest point in the temple, where a small balcony overlooks the courtyard. Moonlight touches the tops of columns and arches, forming soft silver patterns on stone. You watch shadows stretch and fold over one another, the carvings appearing to move subtly in the light. There is no rush, no tension, only presence, only calm, only quiet energy flowing gently across the space. The priestesses of memory seem to linger in every corner. Their stone figures hold gentle gestures of blessing and care. You sense their calm, the soft energy of devotion passed through centuries, carried in the quiet weight of stone. Each breath you take matches the slow rhythm of the temple, the delicate ebb of shadows, the faint trickle of water, the soft beat of distant drums. Slowly, you drift down to the courtyard once more. The open air carries the subtle scent of earth and flowers, the faint pulse of night, and the weightless presence of devotion etched into every stone. The moon rests high, touching every surface with silver light. The temple, carved of silent stone, holds its stories softly, without need of voice or motion, yet full of gentle energy. You feel that energy wrapping around your body, your mind, your heart. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft weight of stone and memory, by the gentle touch of moonlight on carved surfaces, by the quiet rhythm of devotion and night. Rest as the stars return to watch over temples and courtyards, over silent stones and still waters, over the soft presence of women who guided spirits long ago. Let your breath fall into the rhythm of this sacred space and drift peacefully into calm. The night unfolds like a dark velvet cloak over the world, soft and deep. A gentle wind drifts across quiet hills, carrying the faint scent of jasmine and damp earth. The moon hangs low, pale and luminous, casting silver light on the landscape. You float along a narrow path lined with low stones and whispering grasses. Above, the sky stretches wide, filled with scattered stars that blink gently, as if breathing in rhythm with the earth below. You pause for a moment, letting your gaze rise. The stars seem to gather in patterns, delicate symbols etched across the sky, spirals, crescents, tiny points of light arranged with care. These were the guides of priestesses long ago, the silent companions of ritual and meditation. Each constellation carries a story, a memory, a quiet whisper of energy that flows across time. You feel a calm settling over your chest as your eyes trace the soft arcs of celestial light. A gentle stream glimmers nearby, reflecting the stars as if the river itself is holding a mirror to the sky. The water moves slowly, deliberate, carrying silver reflections downstream. You drift closer, watching how the light bends and folds across the ripples. Tiny lanterns float along the edge, their warm glow mingling with moonlight and star reflections. Each lantern seems to echo the soft energy of the heavens above, casting delicate moving patterns across the water and surrounding stones. Above, the constellations shift imperceptibly. The priestesses of old knew these paths, reading the sky like a book of gentle guidance. Spirals represented cycles of life and renewal. Crescents traced the rhythm of the moon, a slow heartbeat of time. Points of light were spirits of memory, watching silently, guarding softly, shining without expectation. You feel your breath slow, your mind softening, carried by the calm rhythm of sky and water. A distant owl calls, its voice a soft echo across the hills. The sound folds into the gentle rush of the river, into the hum of wind through the trees. You notice the shadows of branches stretching across the ground, bending lightly in the silver glow. Somewhere in the distance, a faint drumbeat begins, low and steady, matching the rhythm of your chest. The night itself seems alive with subtle movement, each sound a gentle brush against your spirit. You notice the shapes of small hills beneath the stars. On one hill, a circle of stones glows faintly under moonlight, like a hidden altar. The priestesses once gathered here, lifting eyes and hands toward the sky, letting the soft power of stars pass through them. Their movements were deliberate, slow, rhythmic, aligned with the quiet pulse of night. You feel the echo of their presence, not as memory, but as gentle energy resting in the air, soft as mist, light as breath. The stars begin to shimmer more brightly, reflecting in the river with delicate tremors. Each reflection seems to carry a symbol, a story, a sacred energy that touches without pressure. Spirals curl faintly in the water. Crescents bend softly along the banks, and tiny points of light scatter across the surface like floating petals. The river and sky move together in a gentle conversation, a dance of calm and luminous attention. Somewhere overhead, a shooting star arcs gracefully, its trail bright and fleeting. The priestesses believed these were messages, soft reminders of connection across time. You follow its path with your eyes, feeling the calm ripple through your body, softening the mind, releasing tension. Each moment becomes a breath, each breath a gentle current that carries you along the rhythm of the night. A small stone pathway leads you closer to the river's edge. Here the lanterns cluster in gentle groups, reflecting the constellations above. You notice patterns forming, spirals in stone, crescents in lantern light, tiny points of silver that echo the heavens. The priestesses once traced their fingers along these stones, leaving quiet symbols of care and protection. You feel the soft hum of their presence, a quiet guidance, a lullaby that does not demand attention but invites calm. The night wind lifts, brushing softly across your shoulders, carrying whispers of leaves and distant flowers. You feel the gentle pull of moonlight on your skin, the slow rhythm of the stars reflected in the river. The priestesses' chants seem to drift faintly across the hills, soft syllables of sacred names blending with the quiet sounds of night. Each note folds into the air like a feather, touching your spirit and settling softly in your chest. Above, the sky stretches wider, and the stars trace subtle paths in the darkness. Spirals bend and curl, crescents rise and fall, and the soft points of light form quiet constellations. The priestesses believed each symbol held energy, a gentle presence that could guide, protect, and soothe. You feel that energy now, settling around you, wrapping the mind in soft folds, and inviting rest. You drift toward a small hill, where a circle of stone holds a faint glow beneath the stars. Tiny carvings of women trace its edge, holding symbols of care, protection, and devotion. Their gestures are still, yet full of presence. Moonlight touches the stones, highlighting crescents and spirals carved long ago. The energy feels like a quiet pulse beneath your feet, carrying the weightless calm of the night across your body. The river moves slowly, carrying lanterns and reflections along its surface. The stars above seem to bend slightly toward it, their light mingling with silver ripples. You feel the calm deepen with each gentle movement, each soft reflection, each whispered symbol. Somewhere far upstream, a small drum begins, low and distant, keeping time with the heart of the night. The beat aligns with your own, slow and steady, drawing you into rhythmic presence. Branches sway gently overhead, shadows shifting softly across the path. You notice small petals floating on the river, catching light from lanterns and stars. Each one carries a trace of devotion, a symbol left behind by priestesses long ago. The petals drift quietly, forming gentle spirals crossing reflections. Resting lightly on the water, you float with them, weightless and calm, carried by their rhythm and the soft light of night. The constellations above shift imperceptibly, tracing paths across the sky. Spirals and crescents guide your eyes, your breath, your attention. The priestesses of old rid the stars with care, aligning gestures and presence with the sacred rhythm of night. You sense their gentle guidance flowing through the soft light, through the shimmer on the water, through the slow beat of distant drums. All becomes calm, all becomes soft, all becomes present in the quiet rhythm of the hidden night. A faint mist rises from the river, curling upward like smoke from a small lamp. The stars reflect in its folds, forming delicate patterns that drift across the stones. The priestesses would have traced symbols in the mist, whispering sacred names, letting energy settle softly. You follow the faint spirals, feeling the quiet pulse of devotion, the slow rhythm of presence, the gentle unfolding of night across your mind. Lanterns dim as the night deepens, their glow softening into the silver light of moon and stars. The river carries all reflections gently downstream, merging sky and water in a quiet, weightless dance. You feel the soft energy of star and river, of moonlight and mist, settle into every corner of your mind, your chest, your shoulders. The priestess's presence remains, a gentle hum beneath the quiet surface, guiding your spirit into stillness. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft shimmer of stars, the gentle flow of river, the quiet pulse of night. Feel the sacred energy of symbols traced across sky and water, resting lightly on your heart, your mind, your breath. Rest now as the stars return to watch over the hidden night, and the gentle light of celestial memory carries you softly into calm and quiet sleep. The evening sky has softened into shades of lavender and deep indigo, a gentle sigh of twilight settling over the world. A soft breeze moves through quiet trees, carrying the faint scent of jasmine and warm earth. You walk along a smooth path lined with golden leaves, each step falling gently, echoing softly like whispers across the ground. Ahead, the faint gleam of stone walls appears, adorned with symbols that shimmer with the last light of day. The air holds a quiet weight, a presence that encourages calm and slows your heartbeat. The temple is open, bathed in the soft glow of lanterns that reflect in polished surfaces, casting gentle patterns of gold and silver. Inside, walls hold sacred mirrors and carved icons, each designed to catch light, to hold reflection, to reveal hidden beauty. You float along the aisles, tracing the shapes with your gaze. The mirrors seem alive, not in movement, but in depth, offering glimpses of presence and stillness. Every surface hums softly with the memory of devotion, of care, of quiet attention. The priestesses of old moved lightly through these halls, their hands lifting toward icons, their eyes following patterns of light across reflective surfaces. Each gesture was deliberate, calm, a conversation with sacred energy. Some mirrors were small, held in gentle hands, carved with crescents, spirals, and tiny stars. Others were larger, standing on carved pedestals, their surfaces smooth and warm with the reflection of candlelight. You feel the soft pull of their energy, a rhythm that eases your mind and folds you gently into presence. A faint trail of incense rises from bowls along the walls, curling slowly like soft golden smoke. Its scent is gentle, earthy, and sweet, touching your senses lightly, encouraging breath to slow. The priestesses would have followed its spiral, lifting hands, tracing shapes in the air, letting reflection guide meditation. You watch as shadows move along the mirrors, bending light, softening edges, creating a quiet dance of presence and memory. Some mirrors reflect not only the room but also the spirit of the one who gazes into them. Faces appear calm, features softened by light and shadow. The priestesses believed each reflection was a reminder of inner divinity, a quiet connection to the sacred energy within. You feel the same presence, as if your own breath and heartbeat are acknowledged and held by the still surfaces. The mirrors do not demand, they simply observe, and in that observation, peace is found. Golden symbols etched along the edges of mirrors glimmer in the lantern light. Spirals, crescents, and delicate blossoms trace quiet paths, their shapes flowing naturally like water or wind. The light catches each curve, reflecting softly onto nearby walls. You notice the way the shapes bend into one another, forming subtle patterns of presence, cycles, and care. The energy feels alive yet still, vibrant yet calm, resting lightly on your chest as if holding a gentle hand. In one alcove, a large circular mirror rests upon a pedestal carved with women in meditation. The surface is polished, warm with soft light, reflecting the shapes of lanterns and the faint flicker of shadows. You float closer, drawn to the calm depth it holds. As your gaze rests on the reflection, the edges of the room blur softly. The carved figures seem to echo gentle movements, lifting hands in slow rhythm, tracing gestures of devotion. Each motion is deliberate, each reflection a soft reminder of presence, of care, of rest. Small bowls of water sit along the path, reflecting candlelight and the soft glow of the mirrors. Petals float across the surfaces, drifting with the slightest current. Each ripple mirrors a spiral, a crescent, or a tiny star etched into nearby carvings. The priestesses would have lifted their hands over the bowls, sending prayers and symbols across the water. You feel the ripples echoing through your mind, softening thought, slowing the breath, creating space for calm to settle fully. A distant drum begins, faint and steady, its pulse echoing softly through stone and air. The sound aligns with the rhythm of lantern flames, the subtle sway of shadows, and the movement of reflective light across mirrors. You sense the pulse beneath your feet and within your chest, a slow heartbeat of the temple itself. Each beat is a gentle guide, carrying your awareness deeper into stillness. The mirrors, lanterns, and bowls of water all respond, their reflections merging into a soft symphony of presence. Some mirrors hold carvings of crescents and spirals within their frames, symbols of cycles, renewal, and care. Light bends along these lines, tracing paths across walls and floors. You notice the shadows stretch and fold in harmony with the shapes, creating a dance of soft light and calm. The priestesses believed that each symbol could guide one's spirit to see divinity within. As you follow the gentle curves and reflections, you feel that same energy guiding your own heart toward rest. The ceiling above glows faintly in silver light, touched by moonlight streaming through open arches. Soft wind drifts inside, carrying the quiet scent of night flowers. Shadows stretch along the walls, folding into gentle spirals, echoing the carvings in mirrors and along the floors. The energy of presence surrounds you, weightless and calm. You feel yourself sinking slowly, softly, into the rhythm of the temple, into the gentle motion of light, reflection, and breath. Along the path, smaller mirrors sit in niches, each catching a different angle of light, a different reflection of the sacred space. Their surfaces show glimpses of carved icons, lanterns, and drifting petals. You pause before one, noticing how it catches the curve of a spiral in stone, the flicker of candlelight on petals, the shadow of a figure carved long ago. The reflection feels alive with calm yet still, a quiet echo of devotion and care. You feel the same stillness settling over your mind, softening edges, quieting thought, inviting gentle rest. The temple seems to breathe with you. Each mirror, each reflective surface holds subtle energy, a soft pulse that moves across stone, light, and water. The priestesses of old moved through this rhythm, letting reflections guide their awareness, their heart, their breath. You feel your own pulse aligning with this soft energy, each inhale and exhale a mirror of calm, each thought folding softly into presence. Lanterns dim slowly as night deepens, their glow merging with moonlight and reflections. Shadows stretch along floors and walls, bending gently around mirrors and carved symbols. Petals drift across reflective surfaces, floating with delicate ease. Water in small bowls shimmers with soft ripples, echoing moonlight, lanterns, and faint stars above. The priestess's presence lingers, weightless and gentle, offering calm and quiet guidance without need of voice or motion. You float along the aisles once more, observing how light and reflection mingle, how symbols echo through mirrors, bowls, and carvings. Each detail invites a soft awareness, a gentle attention to the present, a feeling of rest settling deeper with every breath. The energy of devotion, of sacred presence, flows softly around you, carrying your spirit toward stillness, toward calm, toward quiet. Let us drift onward. Carried by the gentle glow of mirrors, the soft shimmer of lanterns, the quiet pulse of water and light. Feel the sacred reflections settle over your mind, your chest, your shoulders. Rest now as the golden light of devotion carries your spirit gently into calm, as the quiet rhythm of mirrors and symbols wraps you in stillness and peace. Twilight drifts across the garden like a soft sigh, settling gently over paths lined with moss and low-flowering shrubs. The air is warm and fragrant, carrying the subtle scent of jasmine, sandalwood, and petals that have fallen from trees. You walk slowly along a narrow stone path, your steps barely disturbing the calm. Lanterns hang from low branches, their golden glow reflecting in small pools of water scattered throughout the garden. Every movement feels deliberate yet effortless, as though time itself has slowed to breathe with the sacred space. The garden is quiet, except for the faint murmur of water trickling from stone basins and the soft rustle of leaves in the gentle evening breeze. Petals drift slowly across the path, brushing your ankles lightly as you pass. Their colors are soft, pale pink, lavender, ivory, and their presence carries a gentle weightlessness. You feel your breath begin to slow, matching the rhythm of the petals as they settle on stone and water alike. Each one seems to carry a whisper of devotion, a trace of ritual, a tender memory of offerings made long ago. Small stone altars appear along the path, each holding bowls of water, incense, and petals arranged in careful spirals. These are offerings to the divine, left by women who knew the quiet power of presence. Their hands moved slowly, lifting petals and incense with reverence, tracing shapes that mirrored the natural world. You sense the calm of their movements settling into the air, soft as mist, guiding your own spirit toward ease. The scent of incense curls through the garden in gentle spirals, mingling with the fragrance of flowers. Its delicate tendrils move around stone basins and beneath low-hanging branches, carrying soft energy across the path. Each curl of smoke seems to hold a message, a blessing, a soft touch of the sacred. You follow its curves with your eyes, letting them draw attention to small details, the shimmer of water, the gentle tilt of petals, the subtle carvings on stone. Every detail seems alive with calm, and every breath you take mirrors the slow rhythm of the garden. A small pool glimmers in the corner of the garden, reflecting the soft glow of lanterns and the pale light of the rising moon. Petals float across its surface, drifting in patterns shaped by the breeze. The water holds the reflection of carved stone figures along the edge. Women in flowing robes, hands lifted, eyes soft with presence. You watch as the reflections ripple gently with the movement of water, the lanterns, and the faint stir of wind. The scene feels weightless, serene, as if every ripple carries a blessing and every shadow holds a quiet story. Stone pathways lead you deeper into the garden, where clusters of flowering plants form natural alcoves. Small bowls sit at their centers, filled with offerings of petals, water, and soft light. You notice delicate carvings along the edges of stones, spirals, and crescents echoing the shapes of petals and leaves. Each symbol seems to hum with soft energy, a gentle pulse that resonates with the calm of the night. You feel your own body align with that rhythm, your shoulders easing, your breath slowing, your mind folding gently into the present. In one alcove, a circle of stone holds an altar adorned with layered petals in concentric patterns. Candles flicker softly around the edge, their light reflected in small bowls of water. The priestesses who tended this garden long ago moved with care, lifting offerings into the air, tracing patterns in quiet devotion. Their gestures were slow, rhythmic, deliberate, yet without hurry. You feel the echo of that presence, soft as shadow, gentle as moonlight, wrapping around your mind and chest, inviting you to release tension and sink deeper into calm. A gentle breeze drifts through the garden, brushing softly across leaves and flowers. Petals lift into the air briefly before falling again, dancing lightly in the lantern glow. You watch as they move in spirals and arcs, their motion slow, soft, deliberate. Each drift of a petal seems to carry intention, a quiet connection between the offering and the divine. You feel the same connection, weightless and gentle, as if the energy of devotion is settling softly around your spirit, softening the edges of thought, smoothing the mind like water over stone. The air is filled with faint murmurs, the distant sound of a bell, the soft ripple of water, the subtle movement of leaves. Together, these sounds form a lullaby, slow and soothing, guiding your awareness gently downward into the calm of the garden. Lantern light flickers across carved figures, revealing the soft expressions of women holding symbols, lifting hands, and tracing gestures of care. Their energy is still present, quiet yet tangible, offering a sense of safety, a touch of nurturing that moves across your shoulders and chest. Petals continue to drift in delicate arcs, settling in water, on stone, along paths. You notice how each one forms part of a larger pattern, each placement deliberate yet effortless. The priestesses of old understood that every action, every offering, carried intention and presence. They let petals and incense speak softly for them, tracing shapes and leaving energy behind. You feel yourself blending into the rhythm, your breathing aligning with the gentle motion of petals, the subtle pulse of water, the flicker of lantern light. A small fountain gurgles quietly in the center of the garden, water spilling over stones carved with spirals and crescents. Tiny droplets catch the light, creating fleeting sparks across the surface. You float near, noticing the reflections of petals, lanterns, and carved figures in the water. The scene feels suspended in time, slow and deliberate. Each ripple spreads calm, softening thought, quieting mind, and opening the heart to the gentle energy surrounding you. As night deepens, shadows lengthen and the moon climbs higher, spilling soft silver across the garden. Petals drift still, water reflects still, lanterns flicker gently. You feel the garden's quiet energy move through your spirit, each offering, each gesture, each ripple of water carrying the weightless presence of devotion. Every detail, the carved stones, the soft wind, the spiraling smoke of incense, works together to slow your pulse and settle your mind into calm. You move to a small stone bench beneath an arching branch, where lanterns cast soft, warm light on petals at your feet. The priestesses once rested here, pausing to sense the quiet energy of their offerings, the reflection of devotion in water and stone. You sense their presence still, weightless and gentle, merging with the soft rhythm of the garden. Your breath slows further, your body softens, your mind folds into the gentle sway of petals, the delicate flicker of light, the soft murmur of water. The garden seems to breathe with you, a living space of calm energy. Petals, water, incense, and lantern light merge into a quiet symphony, guiding your spirit gently into stillness. You feel each offering, each subtle gesture, each pattern of light and shadow sink softly into your mind. The priestess's devotion is here, not as memory, but as gentle presence, a lullaby of calm energy that settles fully in your chest, your shoulders, your heart. Let us drift onward, carried by the slow rhythm of petals and water, by the soft hum of incense and lantern light, by the gentle pulse of quiet offerings. Feel the calm of sacred attention, the weightless presence of devotion, the soft energy of giving and receiving. Rest now as the garden settles under moonlight, as petals drift and lanterns flicker, as your spirit finds stillness in the gentle embrace of sacred space. The evening settles softly over the land, a quiet hush spreading across hills and rivers. You walk along a path bordered with smooth stones and low flowering bushes, each bloom a gentle brush of color against the fading light. The air carries a delicate fragrance of lavender and warm earth. Shadows lengthen slowly, bending across the path like soft brushstrokes. In the distance, a ring of stones glimmers faintly in the moonlight, arranged with care and devotion, waiting to receive your attention. You step closer, feeling the subtle pulse of the sacred space. The circle is wide, open, and inviting, each stone placed with intention. Within it, small bowls of water, petals, and grains lie in precise patterns, their positions tracing shapes that have guided healing for generations. The priestesses who walked here long ago moved slowly, their hands tracing spirals, concentric circles, and delicate lines. Their rhythm was gentle, deliberate, like the slow tide washing over sand. You feel the echo of that care, soft and calming, settling into your chest. The moon rises higher, silver light spilling across the circle. You notice patterns forming within the stones, mandalas drawn in miniature, petals and water reflecting the light. Each design radiates outward, Like waves spreading on still water, you float along the edges, observing how light and shadow play across the sacred geometry. Each curve, each spiral, each circle carries intention, a quiet language of presence and healing. You feel your own breath aligning with the gentle rhythm, your heart softening with each inhale and exhale. A subtle breeze moves through the circle, lifting petals and scattering them lightly across the stones. They land in delicate arcs, tracing soft paths that mirror the designs beneath them. The priestesses understood that each movement, no matter how small, carried energy. Each ripple of wind, each falling petal, each reflection in water became part of the healing tapestry. You watch as patterns shift softly, noticing how the circle seems alive, yet completely still, radiating calm energy into the space around you. Small bowls of water rest at regular intervals along the circle. Their surfaces catch the moonlight and lantern glow, reflecting petals, stones, and the faint shimmer of lantern flames. Each bowl carries a subtle vibration, a gentle resonance that hums quietly through the circle. As your eyes follow the reflections, you feel the same vibration within yourself, a soft pulse that eases tension, slows thought, and guides the spirit toward calm. Every ripple in water seems like a whisper, a quiet song of care and presence. Within the circle, soft arrangements of stones form spirals and concentric patterns, each carefully balanced, each shape chosen for its quiet energy. The priestesses who shaped these forms moved slowly, letting their hands and hearts guide them. Each stone was placed with intention, each line and curve an echo of healing energy meant to soothe both body and soul. You float along the spiral, your gaze tracing the lines, feeling the same calm energy wrap gently around your mind. Petals float in delicate arcs, carried by a breeze that moves softly through the circle. Their colors are gentle, pale peach, soft lavender, ivory, and each seems to shimmer slightly in the moonlight. You notice how their paths follow the curves of the mandala patterns, landing where they are needed, forming gentle connections across the sacred geometry. The scene feels weightless, as though every element, petals, stones, bowls of water, moonlight, works in harmony to guide the spirit toward calm. A faint chant begins, soft and distant as if carried on the wind. It rises and falls gently, blending with the rustle of leaves and the ripple of water. Each tone is slow and deliberate, resonating within the circle, within the stones, and within yourself. The chant is not loud, not insistent, but a quiet thread weaving through the sacred space, guiding attention and breath. You feel your mind soften, your thoughts folding into the rhythm, your body sinking gently into the gentle energy surrounding you. The moonlight shifts slowly, moving across the stones and water, creating ever-changing reflections. Shadows bend and stretch along the curves of the mandalas, softening edges and forming gentle waves of light. The priestesses understood that healing was not static. It was a living rhythm, a subtle flow between presence, intention, and the sacred forms. You sense the flow moving through the circle, through the moonlight, through the petals and water, and finally, through yourself. Each element becomes part of the gentle pulse of calm energy. Lanterns hang along the perimeter of the circle, their flames flickering softly. The light catches on polished stones, shimmering water, and the soft sheen of petals. You float along the edge, observing how the combination of light, pattern, and natural elements creates a quiet symphony of calm. Each flicker, each reflection, each gentle ripple in the bowls or on the stones feels like a whisper of care, a trace of devotion, a subtle reminder that your spirit is safe here. Small spirals of sand and fine grains lie within the circle, their patterns traced with delicate fingers by those who tended this space. The lines curve outward and inward, interweaving with petals, stones, and bowls of water. Each movement is slow, careful, and deliberate, like soft waves lapping on a quiet shore. You watch as the sand shifts slightly in a breeze, forming new patterns without effort. The shapes themselves seem to breathe, guiding attention and spirit towards stillness, harmony, and gentle reflection. A soft drum begins in the distance, a low, steady pulse that aligns with the rhythm of breath and heartbeat. It rises and falls like the tide, carrying subtle energy across the circle. You feel the pulse in your chest and shoulders, a calming vibration that grounds the spirit and guides thought towards softness. The drum merges with the whisper of wind, the murmur of water, the flicker of lantern light, creating a gentle lullaby that holds the space, the circle, and your mind in quiet, steady rhythm. Within the heart of the circle, a single larger stone rests, smooth and warm in the moonlight. Around it, petals, bowls of water, and spirals of sand converge gently. The stone seems to hold the energy of the space, radiating calm in concentric waves that flow outward. You approach it slowly, letting the pulse of energy wash over you. Each inhale draws peace inward, each exhale releases tension. The sacred geometry, the slow rhythm of elements, and the subtle vibrations all converge to guide your spirit toward rest. The priestesses of old moved through these circles with care, lifting hands, tracing spirals, arranging petals, and letting water reflect moonlight. Their energy remains, weightless yet present, offering calm, subtle guidance to anyone who enters. You feel that presence as a soft touch on the chest, a gentle nudge on the mind, a slow settling of spirit into the gentle rhythm of sacred forms. The circles hold no hurry, no demand, only the quiet invitation to rest, to observe, and to feel peace flow through every breath. Let us drift onward, carried by the slow, gentle energy of the sacred circle. Feel the rhythm of spirals and concentric patterns, the subtle pulse of water and moonlight, the soft movement of petals across stones. Rest fully in the harmony of shapes and elements, the gentle presence of devotion, and the quiet energy of healing. Let the circle cradle your mind, your chest, and your spirit. As the night moves softly over the land, and the sacred patterns guide you into calm, gentle sleep. Twilight descends gently over the quiet forest, the sky painted in soft shades of lavender and deepening blue. You walk slowly along a winding path, the earth soft beneath your feet, scented faintly with pine and moss. Leaves stir lightly in the evening breeze, and the first stars begin to appear, delicate sparks in the darkening sky. Somewhere above, a bird lifts into the air, its wings moving with quiet grace, carrying the hush of the forest and the weightless breath of night. The bird circles slowly, tracing gentle arcs against the horizon. Its feathers catch the moonlight, shining with soft silver highlights. You follow its flight, feeling the same freedom, the same calm energy in your own chest. Birds were sacred messengers, the priestesses of old believed, carrying prayers and devotion across the skies, weaving the divine into the rhythms of the world. Each flap of wings, each soft song, each gentle landing became a bridge between heaven and earth, between heart and spirit. Along the path, other birds emerge, perched on branches or gliding silently over the treetops. Their songs rise and fall, a soft symphony, each note a whisper of care, a trace of presence, a lullaby for the soul. You pause to listen, closing your eyes as the melodies weave around you. Each tone is deliberate, gentle, and soft, guiding the mind to slow, to fold inward, to rest. The forest seems to breathe with the songs, the wind carrying each note to mingle with moonlight, leaves, and the scent of earth. A small clearing appears, bathed in silvery light. Here, birds gather in quiet flocks, circling above delicate stone markers and small altars hidden among moss and ferns. The priestesses of ancient times left offerings here, grain, petals, small bowls of water, and watched the birds receive the blessings with grace. You float along the edge of the clearing, noticing the soft shimmer of feathers, the quiet ripple of water, the faint glow of lanterns. Everything moves slowly, deliberately, inviting your spirit to settle, to breathe, to soften. A dove lands gently on a low branch, its feathers pure and smooth. It coos softly, the sound carrying over the clearing, blending with the distant rustle of leaves and the soft murmur of a hidden stream. You feel the vibration of its song resonate within your chest, echoing like a quiet prayer. The bird lifts once more, tracing slow circles in the air, carrying unseen messages to distant places. Each wing beat feels like a gentle pulse, guiding thought and breath to slow, to align with the rhythm of sacred presence. Other birds follow, each different in color, song, and movement. A sparrow dips lightly, tracing arcs of air, while a soft-feathered owl glides silently above, its wings spread like velvet. Each bird carries a fragment of devotion, a trace of ritual, a whisper of connection to the sacred feminine. You notice how their flight seems almost choreographed, each movement part of a larger pattern of harmony and calm. Your own breathing begins to mirror the gentle rise and fall of their wings, each inhale and exhale syncing with the rhythm of the forest and sky. Petals drift from the surrounding trees, falling slowly to the ground or landing on water pools hidden among moss-covered stones. Birds lift them lightly with their beaks or brush them with wings as they land. Each touch is deliberate, tender and soft, a continuation of the offerings left by the priestesses. You sense the soft presence of these women, their devotion lingering in the air, joining with the flight and song of birds. The energy of care, intention, and calm flows around you like a slow, gentle tide. A gentle wind rises, lifting feathers, petals, and the soft coos and chirps into a moving symphony. The sound swells slightly, but never harshly, never jarring, carrying with it the energy of devotion and quiet reverence. You float along with it, your senses filled with the rustle of wings, the shimmer of feathers, the subtle scent of flowers and earth. The birds' movements trace gentle arcs, spirals, and soft circles, echoing the patterns of sacred geometry in gardens and temples. Each flight guides the spirit to harmony. Each song becomes a lullaby for the heart. Above, the moon climbs higher, silvering the forest and the birds as they move gracefully through the air. Their shadows ripple softly across leaves, stones, and water, forming delicate patterns that shift and change with every gentle flap. You feel as though the entire scene, light, shadow, feathers, song, and breeze, is part of a single breathing rhythm, a living lullaby, slow and meditative. Each element encourages the mind to soften, the body to relax, and the spirit to rest in the calm embrace of the sacred night. A nightingale perches near a pool, its reflection trembling on the water as it sings a slow, lilting melody. The notes ripple across the surface, echoing softly into the surrounding woods. The priestesses understood that the song of birds carried intention and healing. Each tone was part of a rhythm, a subtle vibration that could ease worry, soften hearts, and align the spirit with the natural flow of life. You breathe with the melody, feeling tension melt and thought quiet, as if the song itself were a gentle hand resting on your shoulder. You walk slowly among the trees, pausing to observe the delicate interaction of light and flight. A pair of small birds circle one another above a moss-covered altar, their movement a soft dance of devotion and grace. You sense the continuity of energy, how offerings, movement, and song combine to create harmony. Each bird, each feather, each note contributes to the sacred balance. Just as each breath you take becomes part of the rhythm, part of the gentle unfolding of calm across body and mind. Petals settle on stone and water. Feathers catch the lantern light, and the soft songs continue, weaving together into a quiet, meditative tapestry. You feel the energy of healing moving through the circle, carried by wings, voice, and air. The rhythm is deliberate but effortless, each movement an echo of ancient devotion. You sense the presence of priestesses, the guidance of birds, and the gentle touch of sacred space all around you. It is a calm, steady pulse that invites the spirit to rest fully. The sky darkens further, the stars multiplying overhead as birds settle into hidden branches and quiet nooks. Their song softens into a slow hum, a final lullaby for the night. You pause at the edge of the clearing, feeling the air thick with calm energy, the memory of movement, and the trace of devotion. The rhythm of wings and song has merged with your own breathing. Each exhale releases weight, each inhale draws in quiet presence, and your spirit feels aligned with the gentle flow of the sacred night. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft echo of wings and song, by the delicate shimmer of moonlight, by the quiet rhythm of forest, stone, and air. Feel the gentle pulse of devotion, the calm energy of flight, the lullaby of the sacred feminine. Rest fully in the quiet, in the song that lingers, in the weightless presence of birds tracing harmony across the night sky. Now, as the stars settle and the birds sleep, let your spirit drift fully into gentle, serene rest. The corridor stretches quietly before you, soft shadows dancing along the stone walls. The air is still, holding the faint scent of beeswax and ancient incense. You move slowly, feeling each step grounded on the cool stone floor, a rhythm as calm as your own breathing. From deep within, a soft golden light flickers, coaxing the eyes and the mind to follow. The path narrows, leading to hidden chambers where only whispers and candlelight live. Within these quiet rooms, the walls are lined with small altars, each one carrying delicate carvings and inscriptions. The symbols shimmer softly in the gentle glow, their meanings ancient yet welcoming, guiding attention inward. A candle trembles in the corner, its flame like a heartbeat, steady and soft. You pause, letting the light touch your face, tracing the shapes of the walls and the smooth surfaces of worn stone. The stillness invites your thoughts to settle, like leaves floating on calm water. The flicker of candlelight reveals the subtle beauty of the altars. Tiny carvings of flowers, moons, and abstract shapes seem to breathe in the golden glow. Each mark, each symbol, carries the devotion of women who tended these chambers long ago. They moved slowly, carefully, with hands that knew the weight of intention and the gentle touch of reverence. The room holds their presence, a calm energy that hums softly beneath the quiet air. You feel it brushing against your own heart, encouraging stillness and rest. A gentle draft stirs the candles, sending shadows quivering across the walls. The flames sway, dancing lightly like soft fireflies, and you follow their movement with your eyes, slow and deliberate. The room feels alive but never startling. Every light, every shadow is part of a gentle rhythm. The priestesses who lit these candles understood how small gestures of light could guide the spirit, opening spaces within the heart where quiet could flourish. You let the warmth of their devotion wash over you, a soft tide of calm that encourages your thoughts to slow. The scent of melted wax and incense mingles in the air, subtle and grounding. Your breath matches the rhythm of flickering flames, each inhale drawing in gentle warmth, each exhale releasing tension and heaviness. Some altars hold tiny bowls of water, catching candlelight and reflecting it like quiet stars. Others hold petals, folded carefully into delicate patterns. The symbolism is gentle but powerful, each item a vessel for devotion, a mirror for inner peace. You feel the quiet energy of these offerings move softly through the chamber, a lullaby for the mind and spirit. In one corner, a narrow alcove glows with several candles, their flames clustered close like friends huddling for warmth. The inscriptions on the stone behind them depict moons and stars, and their light traces the curves of sacred symbols. The soft glow highlights the worn edges, revealing the care of countless hands over centuries. The priestesses who tended these candles understood the power of quiet repetition, of ritual performed with attention and gentleness. You imagine their hands moving slowly, lighting one candle after another, each flame a whisper of devotion. A quiet prayer folded into air and stone. The shadows stretch and retreat as the flames flicker, dancing gently across carved shapes of sacred animals, hidden scripts, and spirals of light. A moth flutters softly near the edge of one candle, its wings catching the glow before it drifts silently into darkness. The movement is slow, almost imperceptible, yet it carries a sense of presence, of life quietly joining the ritual of the chamber. You float alongside this gentle dance, feeling your body, your thoughts, your spirit merging with the rhythm of light, shadow, and warmth. The chambers are filled with small, deliberate sounds, the faint drip of wax, the soft rustle of a feather left on an altar, the sigh of the wind brushing against a doorway. Each sound is like a tiny bell, delicate and calm, guiding your attention inward. You imagine the priestesses kneeling or sitting quietly, hands folded over bowls or candles, breathing with the same slow rhythm of flame and shadow. Their energy flows like a river, slow and steady, weaving through the stone walls, across centuries, and into the stillness that now surrounds you. Soft pools of light gather on the floor, each one reflecting the flicker of a candle above. The reflections form small constellations on stone, gentle patterns that invite the eyes to wander and rest. Shapes of petals, symbols, and spirals float in these golden waters, shimmering without movement. You feel the chamber's energy cradle you, as if the walls themselves are breathing slowly, exhaling calm with every flicker of flame. Each reflection becomes a point of focus, a gentle anchor for the mind as it drifts toward stillness. In the deepest corner, a single candle burns with quiet persistence. Its flame does not flicker or waver, but holds steady, serene. You move closer, drawn by its calm radiance. Its warmth brushes against your face and hands, a gentle reminder of continuity, of devotion maintained through centuries. Around it, the shadows fold gently, softening the edges of the chamber. The symbols and carvings seem to hum in response, a subtle vibration that travels through stone, air, and spirit. You feel this hum resonate softly within yourself, an invitation to relax and let go. The air is filled with the faintest hint of incense, curling in soft tendrils that rise toward the ceiling. Each wisp carries the memory of hands that moved slowly, carefully, tending candles, arranging petals, and breathing prayers into the quiet night. You inhale the scent, letting it fill your chest and settle in your lungs. Exhale, and the mind releases all the small tensions, the unneeded weight, until the body is fully immersed in the soft embrace of light, scent, and stillness. You trace the paths of shadows along the walls, each one like a soft whisper of history. Figures of divine feminine energy, delicate spirals, and flowing symbols emerge in the flickering light, then fold back into shadow. There is no rush, no urgency, only the patient rhythm of devotion. You move from altar to altar, feeling the soft pulse of energy that fills the chambers. Each candle, each symbol, each flicker of light guides your heart toward quiet, slow breath and gentle rest. In the center of the chamber, a larger altar rises, carved from smooth stone. Candles burn in a soft circle around it, their light mingling with the shadows to create a gentle dance of illumination. Symbols are etched into the altar's surface, delicate and precise, telling stories of care, protection, and devotion. You feel the chamber hold you tenderly, as if it recognizes the need for stillness, the invitation to allow thought to soften and drift like smoke from the flames. The room is alive with calm energy, yet it remains completely peaceful, a space designed for the spirit to find rest. The flames of the candles flicker one last time, and the chamber seems to exhale slowly. You feel the warmth of the light, the quiet power of devotion, and the soft presence of countless women who tended these spaces. Their care, their attention, and their gentle energy seem to float in the air, mingling with your breath and the stillness of the moment. Your heart slows, your mind softens, and a deep sense of calm settles like a blanket across your shoulders. Let us drift onward, following the soft trails of candlelight and shadow, letting the chambers guide the mind inward, and allowing the gentle flicker of devotion to settle in the heart. Rest in the warmth, the quiet, the sacred glow. Let every breath become a soft wave of release, every heartbeat a gentle anchor to calm. Now rest, as the stars return, as the candles burn softly in hidden chambers, and as your spirit floats, serene and peaceful, into the night. The air is still, carrying a soft scent of earth and mineral pigments, mingling with the faint whisper of incense. You step lightly into the chamber, where walls and floors are adorned with flowing rivers of color. Soft patterns ripple across stone, painted by hands that move slowly, with care and devotion. Each stroke of pigment seems to pulse gently, as if the walls themselves breathe with the memory of ritual and reverence. Light drifts softly through high windows, scattering across the painted surfaces in warm, quiet reflections. Hues of deep ochre, soft crimson, and pale blue stretch in flowing patterns, tracing gentle rivers across the stone. You move your gaze slowly, following the curves, the delicate swirls, letting each shape settle your thoughts. The pigments are not merely decoration, they are prayers, whispers of calm and protection, folded into the very walls of the chamber. Along the floor, a mosaic of painted lines guides your steps. Each river of color flows into the next, a continuous journey without rush or end. You imagine the women who created these patterns, kneeling with soft brushes in their hands, their movements deliberate and tender. With each stroke, they imbued the space with quiet strength, a serene protection for those who would come to rest here. You feel their presence as a gentle warmth, like the softest sunlight filtering through dawn. The patterns are alive with a subtle rhythm, like waves on a still lake. Spirals coil softly into circles, lines stretch into gentle arcs, and colors melt into one another. The pigments carry the calm energy of water, flowing endlessly, a symbol of continuity and quiet change. You breathe in deeply, letting the motion of the painted rivers mirror your own gentle rhythm, each exhale releasing tension, each inhale welcoming stillness. Tiny details emerge as you study the walls more closely. Dots that form constellations, thin lines that hint at the curves of celestial bodies, patterns that resemble petals falling on water. Each shape is intentional, a meditative gesture, a small offering of peace. You feel drawn into their slow rhythm, each movement of your eyes a reflection of the soft pulse of devotion that built this chamber. The pigments themselves hold the warmth of many hands, ochre from sun-baked clay, soft blues from crushed stones, crimson from dried petals, each material chosen for its gentle resonance with spirit. The women who painted here understood that every color carries a subtle vibration, that each hue can soothe or awaken, protect, or guide. As you move slowly along the rivers of light, you feel the colors brushing softly against your mind, guiding it into gentle calm. A single river of pale gold catches your attention. It flows in an arc across the chamber, looping around a small altar. The light from nearby candles reflects in its shimmer, sending golden echoes across the walls. You follow the river with your eyes, tracing its movement as it curves and folds, feeling your own thoughts fold with it. Each ripple of gold seems to pulse in time with your breath, and you notice your heartbeat slowing, settling into the same gentle rhythm. Along the edges of the painted rivers, delicate symbols are hidden in plain sight. Spirals, petals, and crescent moons blend into the patterns, barely perceptible until the eye lingers. These marks are protective, prayers woven in color, carrying silent blessings for the body, the heart, and the spirit. You feel the calm intention behind each mark, a soft current flowing through the room, carrying your thoughts into quietude. The pigments seem to flow in time with soft sounds around you, the faint drip of wax from nearby candles, the low hum of distant chants carried on still air, the occasional rustle of a feather left on a painted altar. These sounds blend with the motion of color, each note a small echo of devotion. You allow yourself to be carried by this combination of sight and sound, drifting along the gentle rivers of light, floating on waves of pigment and memory. Some walls hold wide arcs of pale blue, like the surface of a calm sky. Other surfaces are streaked with deep red, warm and grounding, guiding your attention downward to the earth beneath your feet. The patterns shift softly as you move, the pigments catching light differently with every step. This quiet dance of color mirrors the subtle motion of life itself, never abrupt, always flowing, always continuous. You let the flow of hues calm the mind, softening each thought as it passes through the river of your awareness. Small altars sit among the painted patterns, each touched by the same devotion that created the walls. Bowls of water, small stones, and scattered petals reflect the painted light, multiplying the rivers of color across the chamber. You pause, noticing how the reflections seem to ripple softly, mirroring the painted rivers. It is as if the room itself breathes, inhaling the colors and exhaling calm into the air around you. A faint breeze drifts through, carrying a hint of incense and the soft, earthy smell of pigments. The air moves lightly, rippling through the painted rivers, and the walls seem to shimmer with gentle motion. You imagine the women who painted here kneeling quietly, their hands steady, their attention focused solely on the flow of color. Each stroke was a gift, a channeling of spirit into form, a quiet offering of calm to those who would follow. You allow their care to touch your spirit, settling it further into ease. The rivers of painted light flow around a central chamber, curving gently toward a larger altar. Candles flicker there, their flames mirrored in the soft gold and crimson pigments. The patterns form soft spirals and concentric circles, a gentle geometry of harmony. You let your eyes follow these arcs, and with each curve, your thoughts fold inward, closer to a place of stillness. The rhythm of the painted rivers matches your own slow, meditative breathing. Soft reflections catch your attention in the water bowls on the altars, doubling the painted rivers as if the room holds secret, mirrored worlds. The colors ripple with faint movement, the reflections creating endless, gentle repetition. You imagine yourself floating along these mirrored rivers, weightless, carried by the calm, continuous flow of pigments, each turn of color a lullaby for your mind. Time itself feels slower here. The painted rivers move in cycles that the eye can follow endlessly, and your thoughts move with them. Spirals coil softly, arcs flow into circles, and all around the chamber is filled with light, color, and quiet devotion. You feel the soft pulse of centuries of care, and the energy of every brushstroke settles over you like a gentle blanket. Your mind rests in the rhythm of the rivers, letting each wave of color smooth away tension, leaving only calm. As the candles flicker, their light mingling with the pigments, the room seems to breathe in harmony with you. Shadows and colors dance slowly, softly, inviting your awareness to follow their gentle movement. You sense the quiet intent of the chamber, the careful hand of devotion behind every stroke, and you feel a corresponding calm settle within your own heart. Every thought slows, every breath becomes deeper, gentler, and more rhythmic. Let us drift onward along these rivers of painted light, following the soft currents of color, shadow, and reflection. Allow the pigments to carry your mind into calm, to fold each thought into gentle arcs, and to guide your spirit into quiet. Now rest as the colors flow endlessly, as the candles flicker softly, and as your spirit floats, serene and peaceful, along the rivers of painted light. The air is quiet, warmed by the gentle glow of hidden lanterns. You step softly into a chamber where the floor seems alive beneath your feet, veins of stone and mineral tracing long flowing paths across the earth. Each line pulses faintly, as if carrying the slow, steady heartbeat of the world itself. You feel drawn to these markings, curious yet calm, as your breath matches the rhythm of the stone beneath you. Soft shadows fall across the walls, tracing the contours of embedded crystals and polished stones. Their surfaces catch the light with a tender shimmer, reflecting golden warmth and pale silvers. You notice the smoothness of the stones, their edges worn over centuries, shaped by water, wind, and time. They are silent witnesses, patiently holding the memory of devotion, of women who knelt here to connect with the earth. As you move forward, the veins of the earth guide your gaze. Lines of deep amber and rich clay red spread like rivers across the floor, looping gently into arcs and spirals. Tiny flecks of mica glimmer softly like stars embedded in the ground. You trace them slowly with your eyes, imagining the hands that first revealed these patterns, hands that pressed gently, reverently, into the stones to honor the life force flowing beneath. The chamber holds a faint scent of stone and soil, mingling with incense that curls lazily into the air. It is calming, grounding, a soft reminder that you are connected, even here, to the slow heartbeat of the world. You kneel briefly to touch one of the stones, feeling its smooth coolness, letting it remind you that beneath all movement, all thought, there is a steady, enduring calm. Veins of green jade and pale turquoise trace upward along the walls, connecting the floor to the vaulted ceiling. The colors ripple softly in the lantern light, like streams of water winding their way from mountain peaks into quiet valleys. You follow them slowly, imagining each vein as a path of energy, a channel for the earth's nurturing power. As your attention drifts along these lines, your mind begins to soften, each thought easing like water settling into still pools. Scattered across the chamber are clusters of stones, smooth, rough, and softly luminescent. Each one carries its own quiet energy, resonating gently as you pass. The women who tended this chamber understood their voices, their touch, their prayers, and how they could awaken the life force held in each mineral. You feel that energy as a subtle vibration, not felt with your hands but with your awareness, like a whisper that moves through your body and settles in your chest. The patterns on the floor lead to a central circle, a sacred meeting place for reflection and devotion. Here the stones form concentric rings, each vein of color flowing naturally into the next. Deep reds meet soft ochres, pale blues curl into greens, and flecks of mica shimmer like the night sky reflected on still water. You imagine the women sitting within this circle, hands resting gently on the stones, eyes closed, letting the life of the earth fill them with peace and quiet strength. A faint hum drifts through the chamber, carried perhaps by air moving over the veins of stone, or by your own awareness, tuning to the subtle energy of the minerals. Each note of vibration seems to resonate with a part of your body that often remains still, your spine, your heart, your feet. You breathe with it, slow and gentle, feeling your own energy flow in tandem with the earth beneath you. Along the walls, small alcoves hold clusters of crystals and gemstones, their surfaces catching the lantern light like tiny moons. The colors are soft and calming, rose quartz for gentle love, smoky quartz for grounding, and amethyst for quiet reflection. You move closer, letting your gaze linger on their smooth surfaces, their edges polished by time and devotion. Each stone seems to hold a gentle message, whispered through color and texture, reminding you to rest, to let go, to sink slowly into calm. Veins of white and gold trace delicate arcs across the chamber floor, connecting the central circle to hidden altars tucked in shadowed corners. Bowls of water, small petals, and soft incense rest atop these altars, each element catching the reflected light from the stones. You notice how the colors of the minerals blend with the offerings, forming a quiet harmony that soothes the mind. Each ripple of color, each faint reflection, seems designed to slow thought, to cradle attention in gentle, flowing waves. The air carries the faint sound of water somewhere distant, perhaps a small stream running through an unseen channel beneath the chamber. Its soft trickle blends with the shimmer of mica and the flicker of lantern light, forming a lullaby for the mind. You follow the sound with your awareness, letting it merge with the visual rivers of stone. Your body feels heavier, more settled, as if the earth itself is holding you in a gentle embrace. Each step across the chamber floor is mirrored by the flowing veins of the earth beneath you. Reds and greens, ochres and blues, curve and coil in patterns that seem both random and perfectly ordered. You sense the centuries of care embedded in each line, the devotion of women who understood the quiet power of earth, mineral, and stone. Each stroke, each placement is a prayer made tangible, a river of energy that flows without interruption. The central circle becomes a sanctuary in your mind, a place where thoughts slow to gentle rhythms. You imagine sitting there, feeling the polished stones beneath your hands, the smooth veins beneath your feet, and the soft warmth of lantern light on your skin. In this space, nothing is hurried, nothing is pressing. Each pulse of your heart resonates with the calm, steady heartbeat of the earth, each breath carried along the veins of mineral and stone. Tiny flecks of gold and silver trace faint paths across the floor, catching the flicker of lantern flames. They glimmer softly, reminding you of quiet treasures hidden in plain sight, the subtle beauty that exists in calm observation. You allow your mind to rest here, following the gentle arcs, the flowing patterns, the quiet pulses of light and color. Each movement draws you deeper into a state of serene attentiveness, a soft awareness that requires nothing from you but stillness. Soft wind drifts in through unseen openings, brushing over the stones and stirring the patterns ever so slightly. The air carries a gentle promise of grounding, of rest, of connection to the living world beneath your feet. You feel it as a subtle current against your skin, a quiet nudge to relax, to let the steady rhythm of mineral and earth draw all tension from your body. The veins of the earth converge once more at the central altar, forming delicate flowing arcs that lead inward, towards stillness. You imagine the women kneeling there, hands on stone, eyes closed, listening to the subtle hum of the world beneath. Their devotion forms a quiet current, invisible but deeply felt, carrying you along in a gentle, protective embrace. Each color, each line, each vein is a guide, a map leading inward to the calm center of your own spirit. Let us drift onward along these veins of the earth, following the soft rivers of mineral, the gentle shimmer of embedded crystals, and the quiet pulses that flow beneath the stone. Let your body sink slowly into the calm, each breath deepening your sense of connection, each glance along the flowing patterns settling your thoughts. Now rest as the earth holds you, as the veins of stone carry your spirit, and as your heart beats in harmony with the quiet, eternal pulse of life. The twilight settles softly over the landscape, painting the sky in shades of lavender and gentle rose. You float along a quiet path, where the air carries the faint scent of earth and soft blossoms. The world seems hushed, as if listening, and in this stillness, the first feathers appear. They drift lazily on the evening breeze, light and delicate, each one catching the last shimmer of sunlight. The feathers move with effortless grace, twisting and turning in slow, measured arcs. Some are creamy white, others patterned with the soft browns and grays of quiet forests. Each feather seems to carry a gentle story, a whisper of wings that have traveled far and seen much. You reach out with your awareness, letting the softness of their flight settle in your mind, letting your thoughts glide with them. A small flock of birds rises from the distant trees, their wings beating a calm rhythm that echoes softly in the twilight. You watch as they ascend, tracing arcs across the sky. Their feathers catch the fading light, glowing like precious threads woven from dawn itself. Each movement is deliberate yet effortless, and as you observe, your own body feels lighter, as if each inhalation lifts you slightly above the ground. The ground beneath your feet is soft, mossy, and warm. Tiny feathers dropped from unseen wings lie scattered among the ferns and flowers. You bend to look closer, noticing how each one seems perfectly formed, the tiniest filaments woven in delicate symmetry. You feel the quiet reverence of nature in each plume, the careful design of life, and the invisible hand of devotion that guided those who first honored these symbols. Along the path, small altars appear tucked between the roots of old trees. Each holds a single feather, laid upon a cushion of soft moss or smooth stone. Some feathers are white and luminous, others patterned and earthy. You imagine the women who placed them here long ago, hands careful and steady, eyes closed in silent prayer. They understood the power of these symbols, the way a single feather could carry intention, hope, and gentle guidance. A soft wind stirs the feathers at your feet, lifting them into slow, spiraling motion. You watch as they twist and turn, floating higher, joining the flock in the distance. Each movement is smooth, deliberate, and light, a quiet reminder that spirit need not be heavy to move, that freedom is found in gentleness and grace. You feel the rhythm of your own breath match this motion, slow and calm, each inhalation and exhalation carrying you gently onward. In the distance, a pond mirrors the sky. Feathers drift down to rest on its glassy surface, creating tiny ripples that spread slowly, merging with the reflections of the trees and the faint light of the evening. The patterns seem purposeful yet effortless, flowing naturally, forming circles and arcs that soothe the eye. You follow the ripples with your gaze, letting your mind move as softly as the water, letting tension melt with each gentle wave. Some feathers glimmer faintly in the moonlight, silver threads against deep shadow. You notice their fine textures, the tiny barbs that interlock so precisely, creating strength and softness. You trace the lines with your mind, as if reading a delicate map of flight, a guide for navigating both sky and spirit. Each one reminds you that even the lightest touch can carry weight, and even the smallest gesture can hold meaning. A gentle rustle in the underbrush signals more movement. Birds emerge slowly, wings unfolding in quiet arcs. You see the patterns on their feathers, blues, grays, and soft golds, each reflecting the calm wisdom of the earth. They pause in the trees, tilting their heads, observing with serene awareness. Their presence is both grounding and uplifting, a bridge between the world of earth and the world of spirit. You continue along the path, surrounded now by feathers floating in the air, resting on leaves and drifting over the pond. Each feather seems to carry a silent message, a prayer unspoken yet understood. They speak of guidance without pressure, of freedom without chaos, of the gentle paths that lead the spirit toward calm and understanding. You feel yourself attuning to these messages, your thoughts slowing, your body softening. Above the pond, a single large feather hovers, suspended as if caught in time. It is white with soft golden streaks, catching the moonlight with a tender glow. You imagine it as a symbol of protection and care, a reminder that even in silence one can feel the presence of something gentle and watchful. You let your attention rest on this feather, allowing its quiet light to settle in your mind. The flock returns slowly, weaving above the water in fluid patterns. Their feathers shimmer with each movement, creating a soft symphony of light and motion. You follow their arcs, tracing each curve, letting your awareness drift with the flight. Each feather is a note, each movement a melody, forming a lullaby that moves through the air and into your consciousness. Small feathers, silver and pale blue, brush the surface of the pond as the birds pass. You watch the ripples form around them, each spreading softly into the stillness. The circles expand gently, overlapping and merging, just as thoughts and breath settle together in calm awareness. You allow your mind to flow with these patterns, letting each ripple carry away any tension, leaving only quiet serenity. The trees surrounding the pond sway softly, their leaves whispering with the movement of the night breeze. Feathers drift downward, brushing against branches, floating to the ground in gentle arcs. Each one seems guided, moving with a purpose yet without haste. You notice the delicate interplay of wind and feather, of air and motion, and you feel a quiet joy in simply observing, in simply being present. Some feathers fall into the water near the shore, floating with delicate elegance. You lean closer, noticing the way the light bends across their surfaces, creating faint, luminous lines. They are fragile and strong all at once, a paradox held in gentle balance. You let your thoughts mimic this balance, softening edges of tension, letting each concern drift away like a feather on the pond. The birds settle now in the trees surrounding the water, their movements slow and deliberate. Feathers drift downward one by one, landing on moss, stone, and water. The air feels lighter, calmer, as if the presence of the feathers themselves has shifted the rhythm of the world. You inhale deeply, taking in the scent of wet earth and soft plumage, feeling it fill the space inside your chest with warmth and tranquility. In a small alcove near the pond, an altar rests beneath a flowering tree. Feathers of every shade, white, gray, gold, and soft brown, are arranged in delicate patterns. You imagine the hands that place them there, steady and reverent, crafting symbols of guidance and care. Each arrangement seems alive, a quiet testimony to the balance between earth and sky, between human devotion and the freedom of spirit. You follow a single feather as it drifts across the water, spinning gently in the moonlight. It moves without effort, flowing with the currents, guided by invisible hands. You feel the same ease in your own body, a lightness that comes from releasing thought and allowing the present moment to carry you. Each breath aligns with the flight. Each heartbeat resonates with the gentle rhythm of air and feather. The night deepens, and the pond reflects the stars above. Feathers float quietly on its surface, mirroring constellations as if the sky itself has sent small gifts to the earth. You gaze upon these reflections, feeling a serene connection between what is above and what is below, between spirit and matter, between stillness and gentle motion. Softly, the flock rises once more, spiraling higher into the night. Feathers drift downward slowly, one by one, until only a few remain above the pond. You feel your own spirit following them, moving lightly, carried along by the gentle wind of presence and calm. Your body rests, your mind drifts, and the night seems to hold you as tenderly as the feathers themselves. Let us drift onward with these feathers, following each curve, each shimmer, each gentle arc through the night. Let your awareness float, light as plumage, carried on invisible currents. Let every feather remind you of freedom, of guidance, and of soft, unwavering care. Now rest, as the stars above and the feathers around return to quiet, as your spirit sinks gently into peace, and as the night carries you into dreams of lightness and serenity. Twilight spreads across the hills, soft and slow, painting the sky in gentle shades of lavender and amber. You walk along a quiet path, where the air carries a subtle scent of old stones and distant incense. The world feels hushed, as if listening to its own heartbeat, and in this stillness, a small temple appears tucked among the trees. Its walls are smooth, weathered by time, and the doorway glows with a calm light, like a warm invitation to rest. Inside, the air is gentle, carrying the soft echo of wind moving through hidden corridors. Candlelight flickers across walls carved with delicate symbols. Some are spirals, some simple lines, each holding a message of quiet guidance. You step slowly, feeling the soft stones beneath your feet, and a sense of calm begins to settle like a warm cloth over your shoulders. In the center of the temple, an altar rises slightly above the floor. Small offerings of flowers and stones are placed with care. The air hums faintly, a vibration of presence and attention, almost as if the temple itself is breathing. You notice a figure sitting near the altar, serene and still, her hands folded gently in her lap. She is an oracle, a quiet keeper of wisdom, her presence soft, yet unwavering. Her eyes are closed, yet she seems aware of everything: the subtle shift of air, the faint rustle of leaves outside, the distant call of a night bird. In her stillness, you sense the gentle rhythm of knowing without urgency. She does not rush. There is no need. Her voice, when it comes, is softer than the wind. It is a whisper carried on the air, a thread that draws your attention inward. Some questions need only patience. The oracle murmurs. The words float lightly, settling in your mind like soft sunlight over a still pond. You breathe with her, inhaling the calm, exhaling tension. Each word is a feather, light and delicate, carrying no weight but full of meaning. The room feels alive with quiet presence, and your thoughts begin to soften, easing into stillness. You move closer, noticing the carvings along the walls. They show women seated in serene positions, eyes closed or gazing softly at the horizon. Their hands trace circles in the air, forming gentle patterns, as if drawing harmony from the unseen. You imagine the care and attention that went into these carvings, the deliberate gestures meant to teach patience, awareness, and gentle guidance. Each line is a reminder that wisdom need not be loud to be profound. The oracle reaches toward a small bowl of water near her. She touches the surface lightly, and tiny ripples spread outward, catching the candlelight. You follow the movement with your eyes, noticing how each ripple intersects and merges, forming patterns that are calm, deliberate, and unhurried. Her hands guide the water softly, and in the reflection, You see your own mind mirrored, still, yet moving gently with the flow of thought. A feather drifts through the open doorway, carried by a quiet breeze. It lands lightly near the bowl, floating briefly before touching the stone floor. You watch as the oracle smiles faintly, acknowledging the small messenger without hurry. The feather seems a token of gentle insight, a symbol that guidance can arrive softly, unannounced, yet perfectly placed. You let your awareness rest on it, letting the notion of gentle messages settle in your heart. Outside, the night sky deepens and faint stars appear, each a distant spark of light. You imagine the oracles of the past watching these same stars, reading their quiet signals, sensing the rhythm of the world. Their knowledge was never forced. It was listened for, observed in the spaces between breaths, in the stillness of stone and water, in the whisper of leaves. You allow yourself to join that quiet observation, noticing the way your own breath mirrors the soft rhythm of night. A faint sound comes from the back of the temple, like soft wind through reeds. The oracle tilts her head slightly, listening, and you feel the sense of attention without tension. Each sound is a guide, each pause a doorway. You notice how your thoughts slow, following the gentle cadence, allowing clarity to emerge without pressure. The room itself seems to exhale, and with it, your mind. Near the altar, small stones form a circle, each carefully placed. The oracle traces the edges lightly with her fingers, creating shapes that seem to pulse with quiet energy. You imagine these circles as mirrors of inner states, calm, centered, receptive. The patterns are not complex, yet they are complete whole in their simplicity. You trace them in your mind, letting each curve and circle remind you that wisdom often resides in quiet, simple acts. She picks up a thin candle and holds it so that the flame dances softly across the carvings. The light flickers gently, highlighting symbols of spiral and line, of water and sky. Each flicker seems alive, like the soft beating of wings, carrying messages through subtle change and gentle motion. You follow the movement, allowing the candlelight to lull your mind into a gentle trance, each shadow and glow merging into quiet harmony. The oracle rises slowly and walks toward the open doorway. Outside, the night is cool and soft, the air carrying the scent of earth and distant blooms. She pauses and gestures with her hand, and a gentle wind stirs the leaves. The motion is delicate, almost imperceptible, yet it carries a sense of vast understanding. You imagine that even in stillness, guidance moves, invisible and light, shaping the flow of thought and spirit. A soft chant rises, distant and faint, carried by the night breeze. You feel it as a vibration in your chest, a resonance that spreads outward, touching every corner of the temple and your mind. The words are old, whispered by women long ago, carrying care, insight, and subtle reassurance. You let the sounds move through you, each note a soft wave, washing over tension and calming thought. The oracle gestures toward a small pool outside the temple, where water reflects the stars. She traces a finger along the edge, and the surface shifts softly, rippling in circular patterns. The ripples move outward, intersecting and combining, forming new shapes without hurry. You watch the water and feel your own mind merge with this rhythm, each ripple carrying a fragment of thought into gentle order. In this quiet space, the oracle speaks once more, her voice a soft, steady current. Guidance comes in moments of stillness. Wisdom unfolds like petals, not as a storm but as a dawn. You inhale, letting the words settle inside, soft and warm. Each breath feels longer, each exhale slower, until your mind rests lightly, like a feather drifting on the air. The stars above the temple grow brighter, and the night deepens. The oracle sits once again near the altar, hands folded, eyes closed. Around her, the temple seems to breathe, holding the stillness like a gentle promise. You feel the same stillness descend, filling your chest, your mind, your awareness. The whispers of guidance, the soft ripples, the gentle candlelight, all merge into one quiet current, carrying you gently toward calm. A final feather drifts through the doorway, floating lightly to rest on the altar. You notice its subtle colors, pale gold, soft cream, and hints of silver. It seems to embody the gentle message of the oracle, peace, patience, and the quiet unfolding of wisdom. You imagine reaching out, letting your awareness rest upon it, feeling the softness of understanding settling in your spirit. The night continues, hushed and tender, carrying the faint hum of wind and distant calls of night birds. You remain seated, floating in this calm awareness, each breath a gentle wave, each heartbeat a reminder of quiet strength. The oracle's presence is soft but steady, a light that does not burn but illuminates gently. Let us drift onward now, carried by the subtle currents of guidance and calm. Let your thoughts float like feathers on the wind, unhurried, safe, and light. Let your spirit settle in the quiet, knowing that wisdom arrives softly, in moments of attention, in gentle gestures, and in the space between breaths. Now rest as the stars above and the temple around return to silence, carrying you into dreams of quiet light and tender understanding.